Welcome to ComfortTV.channel news, bringing you verified and balanced news from Nigeria and around the world. My name is Faith Kevin. Thank you for joining us again this morning. In the headlines, Presidency cautions against circulating false coup claims. Former governor sues PDP, seeks court order to stop November 15 convention. Federal government German chamber to strengthen cooperation on youth skills and trade. European Union demand tougher sanctions against vote buying in Anambra poll. Customs and NAPTIP strengthen collaboration. Ebonyi state government set to build 65 houses for widows. On business, NEC urges federal government to redirect $2 billion REA fund to industrial power. First Holdco reports 566.54 billion naira 9-month pre-tax profit as Q3 performance strengthens. On the foreign scene, UN warns of potential war crime by Sudan's RSF in Al Fasher. Tanzania opposition claims hundreds killed as post-election protest turns violent. On sports, Dele Bashiru nears Lazio return after 5-week injury layoff. Sadiq Umar gets massive Sociedad boost after playing just 4 minutes this season. Now the news. The presidency has cautioned that the circulation of reports about an alleged attempted coup poses serious risks to Nigeria's stability, economy, and global reputation. It warned that spreading unverified information could fuel unnecessary tension, erode public confidence, and deter potential investors at a time when the government is focused on economic recovery and national security. Presidential spokesperson Bayo Onanuga emphasized that such claims, mostly originating from social media, have no credible basis and only serve to distract from ongoing national development efforts. He reiterated the administration's commitment to transparency, accountability, and the rule of law, noting that the security agencies are fully alert and capable of safeguarding the nation's democratic institutions. The presidency clarified that while some individuals had been questioned in connection with recent security concerns, no evidence of a planned coup or subversive activity had been established. It described the reports as reckless and damaging, particularly as they coincide with ongoing efforts to attract foreign investment and strengthen international partnerships. The statement follows reports alleging that certain military officers, including a brigadier general, were involved in a plot to overthrow President Bola Tinubu's government, claims that have since been dismissed by the defense headquarters as false and mischievous. The presidency urged Nigerians to remain calm and vigilant, stressing that the administration remains firmly in control and committed to protecting the nation's democratic order and ensuring peace, security, and progress for all citizens. A former governor of Jigawa State and founding member of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Alhaji Sule Lamido, has dragged the party before the Federal High Court in Abuja, seeking an order to halt its forthcoming national convention scheduled for November 15 and 16 in Ibadan, Oyo State. The convention is expected to elect new national officers to pilot the affairs of the opposition party. But Alhaji Lamido, a former Minister of Foreign Affairs, insists the process is flawed and discriminatory. In his suit filed by his counsel, Jefta Chikoti Njikonye-san, Alhaji Lamido asked the court to restrain the PDP and the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) from proceeding with or supervising the convention. The former governor alleged that he was unlawfully and illegally denied access to the nomination form required to contest for the position of the national chairman at the Ibadan convention. According to him, the PDP's actions violated the provisions of its constitution and internal guidelines, which guarantee equal opportunity for all eligible members to participate in internal elections. Alhaji Lamido contended that the convention's planning process has excluded key stakeholders and failed to adhere to the party's constitutional requirements. He argued that the leadership's decision to deny him a nomination form amounted to a breach of natural justice, insisted that the process should be halted until the anomaly is corrected. The plaintiff is asking the court for a mandatory injunction compelling the PDP to issue him a nomination form for the position of national chairman before any convention can hold. Alhaji Lamido also urged the court to bar INEC from supervising, aiding or recognizing any convention conducted without his participation, warning that doing so would give illegal legitimacy to an otherwise unconstitutional process. The Chamber of Industry and Commerce Gießen-Friedberg, Germany, has reaffirmed its commitment to deepening economic cooperation and vocational training partnership with Nigeria as part of ongoing efforts to boost youth employment, entrepreneurship, and industrial growth. The German delegation, led by the Chamber's Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Matthias Leder, is scheduled to visit Nigeria from November 2 to 14, during which it will hold a series of meetings with top government officials and private sector leaders to consolidate existing collaboration and explore new partnership opportunities. In a statement, Dr. Leder said the forthcoming visit reflects the IHK's long-standing engagement with Nigeria spanning nearly 2 decades, focused on strengthening institutional capacity, promoting dual vocational training, and advancing private sector-led development. He added that the relationship between both countries has grown significantly in recent years, with increase in collaboration between the IHK and Nigerian institutions, such as the Nigerian Association of the Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture. Lagos Chambers of Commerce and Agriculture, Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Nigerian German Business Association, and the Ogun Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture. According to Dr. Leder, the November mission will feature high-level engagements with several ministries, including labor and employment, youth development, education, budget and economic planning, industry, trade and investment, and foreign affairs. The European Union's support to democratic governance in Nigerian Phase 2 implementing partners have urged the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), the Nigerian Police and the EFCC (Economic and Financial Crimes Commission) to enforce strict penalties against vote buying and other electoral offences ahead of the 2025 Anambra State off-cycle governorship election. The Executive Director of the International Press Center (IPC), Mr. Lanre Arogundade, stated this while briefing the media on behalf of 16 civil society organizations at the public presentation of the Anambra Governorship Pre-Election Assessment Report scheduled for Saturday, 8 November 2025 in Abuja. The pre-election report, which covers developments between June and September, was conducted under 6-component framework supporting INEC, the National Assembly, judiciary, political parties, the media, women, youths, persons with disabilities, and the civil society. It also assesses the preparedness of key stakeholders and the overall election environment in Anambra ahead of the November 8 poll. Comptroller General Nigerian Customs Service (NCS) Mr. Adewale Adeniyi has reaffirmed the service's readiness to strengthen its collaboration with the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons (NAPTIP) in combating human trafficking and illegal trade in endangered species. Mr. Adeniyi made these commitments when a delegation from NAPTIP paid him a courtesy visit at the Customs House in Maitama, Abuja. He commended the delegation for their continued service to the country and assured them of Customs' unwavering support. He further noted that Nigeria's security challenges require joint action, stressing that the service does not view crime solely through the lens of smuggling, but through broader national security implications. He revealed that the service has intensified its work on environmental sustainability and the enforcement of international conventions regarding flora and fauna, assuring the delegation that Customs will fully collaborate on the upcoming national dialogue on human trafficking and stowaway incidents scheduled for February 2026. The Ebonyi State government has approved the construction of 65 housing units of 3-bedroom bungalows for widows across the state and awarded scholarship to 140 students for admission into the newly established Ebonyi State University of ICT of Ferekwe Agbaja in Easy local government area. Commissioner for Information and State Orientation, Barrister Chief Ikiwa Omebe, disclosed this while briefing journalists on the outcome of the State Executive Council meeting. He said the decision followed the successful completion of the first phase of the Widows Housing Scheme initiated by the wife of the governor. Barrister Omebe explained that the project aligns with Governor Francis Ogbonna-Nwifur's People Charter of Needs, which prioritizes the welfare of vulnerable groups in the society. On the scholarship award, Barrister Omebe said 140 students would benefit from the state support to study at the Ebonyi State University of ICT Oferekpe Agbaja, adding that the beneficiaries were selected to ensure equitable representation across all 13 local government areas and the host community. ComfortTV.channel news continues shortly with business, foreign and sports news. Many thanks for staying tuned to ComfortTV.channel news. We bring you business news where the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, has urged the federal government to review its policy on the $2 billion fund allocated to the Rural Electrification Agency, REA, recommending be redirected to strengthen power supply to Nigeria's industrial zones. Speaking at the next 20th anniversary celebration in Abuja, the Commission's Vice Chairman, Dr. Musiliu Oseni, emphasized that sustainable economic growth depends on a deliberate strategy to power industries, not just improve rural energy access. He noted that while the REA's mini-grid projects have expanded access to electricity in rural communities, they are insufficient to drive large-scale industrialization or productivity. Dr. Oseni called for the deployment of part of the fund to deliver end-to-end power infrastructure that supports manufacturing, job creation and competitiveness across the country's industrial clusters. Reflecting on next 2 decades of regulatory work, he highlighted that the Commission had overseen the unbundling of the former state-owned power monopoly and implemented policies that strengthen market governance and consumer protection. According to him, about 30% of electricity consumers now enjoy better service delivery compared to 2 decades ago. He added that through effective regulation, NERC has helped the federal government save trillions of naira in subsidies, improving the country's fiscal position. However, he acknowledged that Nigeria's transmission network remains weak and requires significant private sector investment to achieve lasting stability and efficiency. FBN Holdings PLC, First Holdco, has reported a profit before tax of 566.54 billion naira for the 9 months ended September 30, 2025, a 7.26% decline from the 610.86 billion naira posted in the same period last year. Despite the drop, the group recorded a solid core performance, buoyed by a sharp rise in interest income and the high interest rate environment. Net interest income after impairment surged 72.48% year-on-year to 1.21 trillion naira, while third quarter profit before tax rose to 210.39 billion naira, up 5.79% from 198.87 billion naira in Q3 2024. However, impairment charges increased 68.5% to 288.9 billion naira as the group adopted a more cautious approach to credit provisioning. Despite this, strong income growth helped maintain profitability and earnings quality. In the capital market, First Holdco's share price closed at 31.70 naira on October 30, 2025, up 0.6% on the day of the results release, bringing its year-to-date gain to 13%. On the foreign scene, the United Nations Human Rights Office has sounded the alarm over reports of large-scale atrocities committed by Sudan's Rapid Support Forces RSF in the conflict-hit city of El Fasher and nearby Bara. The agency said the acts include mass killings, summary executions, rape, and attacks on medical and humanitarian workers may constitute crimes under international law and require urgent global response. According to the UN, the violence escalated after the RSF launched a major offensive on October 23, leading to widespread civilian deaths and destruction. Hundreds are feared dead, with reports of patients killed inside Al Saudi Maternity Hospital and at least 25 women raped at a shelter near El Fasher University. Humanitarian operations have also been severely disrupted. 2 aid workers were reportedly killed, while 3 doctors remain detained by the RSF. In the nearby town of Bara, 5 Red Crescent volunteers were allegedly executed, deepening the crisis and obstructing relief efforts. The UN warned that the deliberate targeting of civilians and humanitarian workers underscores the need for independent investigations and immediate international action to stop the violence. It also urged states with influence in the region to press for accountability, halt arms transfer, and ensure the protection of civilians amid the worsening humanitarian situation in Sudan. Tanzania is facing its deadliest unrest in years as post-election protests spiral into nationwide violence, leaving an estimated 700 people dead, according to the main opposition party, Chadema. Demonstrations erupted after Wednesday's largely uncontested polls, with security forces clashing with protesters in Dar es Salaam, Mwanza, and several other cities. The unrest has been fueled by allegations of political repression after key opposition leaders were jailed or barred from contesting. Internet access remains cut off, foreign media coverage has been heavily restricted, and a curfew has been imposed as protests enter the third day. Reports from local sources indicate widespread casualties and arrests amid a heavy military and police deployment. Hospitals and clinics have gone silent, and official communication from the government has been limited, raising fears that the death toll could rise further as violence continues across the country. Onto the world of sports, Super Eagles midfielder Fisayo Dede Bashiru is close to making his return to Lazio after spending the past 5 weeks sidelined with hamstring injury. The Nigerian midfielder sustained the injury during Lazio's Serie A clash with Roma on September 21, forcing him to miss 5 consecutive league games in Nigeria's World Cup qualifiers against Lesotho and Benin. Reports from Lazio News indicate that the former Manchester City player has resumed full training and is nearly match fit, although he is unlikely to feature in Lazio's next Serie A game against Cagliari. There is optimism that he could return to the squad before the upcoming international break. Dele Bashiru's recovery comes as a major boost for Lazio, who have struggled with squad depth in recent weeks. The 24-year-old has made a promising start to the season before the injury setback, impressing with his energy, ball control, and attacking contributions from midfield. While his inclusion in Nigeria's squad for next month's World Cup playoffs remain uncertain, his imminent return to club football could strengthen his case for a place in Jose Pesero's team for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations in December. Still on sports, Super Eagles and Real Sociedad striker Sadiq Umar has received a major boost from his club's coaching staff despite enduring a tough start to the 2025 season marked by limited game time and fitness challenges. The 28-year-old forward has made only 14 minutes of La Liga action so far this campaign, but was recently handed a chance to impress in Sociedad's Copa del Rey clash against FC Negreira. Sadiq was involved in several attacking moves and could have scored on at least 3 occasions, but his finishing let him down as he continues to regain match sharpness after a long spell on the sidelines. Despite the missed chances, the Spanish side's technical team is said to be pleased with his effort and work rate, acknowledging that his struggles are primarily due to a lack of competitive rhythm. Manager Emmanuel Alguacil reportedly remains confident that Sadiq can rediscover his goal-scoring form once he returns to full fitness. And that's our news bulletin for the morning, but before we go, a recap of our top stories. Presidency cautions against circulating false coup claims. Former governor sues PDP, seeks court order to stop November 15 convention. Federal government German chamber to strengthen cooperation on youth skills and trade. European Union demand tougher sanctions against vote buying in Anambra poll. Customs and NAPTIP strengthen collaboration. Oyo State government set to build 65 houses for widows. On Business News, NEC urges federal government to redirect $2 billion REA fund to industrial power. First Holdco reports 566.54 billion naira 9-month pre-tax profit as Q3 performance strengthens. On the foreign scene, UN warns of potential war crimes by Sudan's RSF in El Fasher. And on sport, Dele Bashiru nears Lazio return after 5-week injury layoff. Thank you for watching. For breaking news, exclusive interviews and more, follow us online at ComfortTV.channel on all platforms. Remember to like and share our videos, subscribe to our channel and click on the notification bell so you don't miss out on future updates. My name is Faith Kevin. Until next time, stay informed, stay connected.